For the first card, this will be your circumstances, Libra. So we have the Ace of Wands. So this is a beautiful card. This is a card of a new start. This is a card of a birth. You know, this could be the birth of a child. This could be the birth of a new project, the birth of a new way of thinking, something new. This can be about wanting to go in a completely new direction. Perhaps maybe some of you might have renewed energy, renewed, passion for something you've previously done. This can be many different things, but our energy is renewed. There's ambition, there's courage. We're just ready to start something new. We've got that motivation. So for some of you, this could be, starting a new project. Could be a creative project, could be a business project. It could be many different things. But you'll know what it is for you. Now, for the focus, so this is like the focus of the entire reading. So we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse position. So this would indicate that there is something that you've been wishing for, something that you've hoped for, something you've wanted to happen. And it's like we just aren't getting it. It's not happening. It's not coming together for us. Now, sometimes this can be a card where perhaps maybe we might be overindulging, so we definitely need to watch out for that, because we do have a lot of wine on this card. So sometimes it can be overindulging in alcohol. Sometimes this can be, overindulging in prescription medications or recreational type of drugs, or this could be overindulging in shopping or whatever it may be. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So if you do see that you might be overindulging in something, you definitely want to try to rein that in, because it could be causing problems for you, especially in regards to whatever you're trying to start, whatever this wish is that you want. That overindulging could be getting in the way of you actually obtaining this. So another aspect to this card is sometimes this can be where we really want something, we really desire for something to happen, we really wish for something to happen, but yet we've resorted to wishful thinking. Now, we can have 100 different goals that we wish and hope for, but if we do not put action behind that wish, behind that goal, it's useless. It's that simple. Wishful thinking will not get it to fall into our lap. We have to put the action behind achieving the goal. So it's like, for instance, we can be like, okay, I've wanted this job for so many years and they're hiring, and so I'm going to go apply because it's a great opportunity. And then maybe you just sit there and hope and wish that it's going to happen. And maybe you don't call and check, on your application and, if they've received it. And, that's just a very simple, generic example, but it gets much deeper. We have to make sure that we are putting the right actions behind our wishes, our intentions, the goals that we want, because again, a goal without action is useless. So we have to be prepared to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty and work for it. So this would be the present, the here and the now, also what crowns you. So we have the Moon card. So this is definitely one of those cards. Well, first and foremost, we definitely need to be paying attention to our dreams. We need to be paying attention to our intuition, our, hunches. A lot of good psychic information can come forth when we have the Moon card. Now, the moon is full here. And the full moon tends to exacerbate our emotions and our emotional reactions. Like the full moon, it tends to make us a bit more emotional. Now, sometimes this can cause an emotional outburst. Sometimes we can end up making a mountain out of a molehill. Sometimes we have the proper emotional response for the situation. But, we do need to make sure that we're not overreacting or allowing our imagination to run away with us. Now, a lot of times this card tends to come up if you're feeling like a big change is coming. Like, we tend to have those feelings like we just know that something's coming, something's about to change. Well, if you've had that feeling, this card's definitely popping out to say you're absolutely right. Something is coming. There is a change coming. Sometimes this can be, a disagreement with a loved one, or a friend. Sometimes this can be a move. Sometimes this can be a job change. This can be many different things. Now, on occasion, this can indicate deception from someone else. And also on occasion, it can indicate that there could be some self-deception. Because if we're allowing our emotions, our exacerbated emotions, to think for us, then that clouds our judgment. So we do need to be careful of self-deception. We don't want to think with our emotions, okay? So do watch out for that. But, this is definitely one of those cards of saying, yes, something is coming. Now, for the near future, we have the Star card in the reversed position. So, this is one of those cards where, again, typically in the upright position, this is about us getting a wish that we want. It's a card of inspiration and hope. But in the reverse position, something that we've wanted just may not work out. It's like temporarily our hope has been dashed. Something's not working. Something's not coming together. We're not getting what we wanted. Now, sometimes, and this is only going to resonate with a few of you, but this can indicate that some of you could be dealing with some sort of physical or even mental type of ailment. Some of you could be struggling with depression or anxiety issues due to not getting this, or particularly this situation. It could be causing you to feel a bit hopeless. And I don't want you guys to get swallowed up by depression and anxiety, okay? It definitely is not what we want, to feel blocked from something we want, or to have, situations that are not necessarily the greatest. But everything does happen for a reason, and it helps us to grow. Because if everything was great in life, then there would be nothing to learn. If everybody was perfect and, it'd be like a bunch of Stepford wives and husbands. There'd be nothing for us to learn or gain, and that's why these things happen. But I just want you to realize that this is temporary. It doesn't have to be forever, okay? But I don't want you guys getting sunken down into depression and hopelessness and anxiety. I totally understand you might be going through a grieving period for some of you. I just don't want you guys to get stuck in that abyss of negativity and despair, okay? Pull yourself out. Because what we truly need here is we need confidence. Things are going to get better. If you're having health issues, your health will get better. But you must believe, and you must have faith. Because ultimately, this is a card of our faith being tested. How bad do we want to get better? How bad do we want this wish that we've had, We have to pull ourselves up. this is a time to, fight back against the circumstances. You're a survivor, and you can do this, and this too will pass. It will. But don't get stuck, I totally understand if some of you are grieving. I just don't want you to stay in that mode, because that's a dark place. So for the future final outcome, the first card is the Three of Wands in the reversed position. Now, I also got a clarification card here. Now, with the Three of Wands in the reversed position, you definitely don't want to have excessive pride or overconfidence about a certain project, goal, wish that you've had, because pride and overconfidence can definitely ruin things for us, okay? Now, for some of you, this could potentially indicate a delay or a postponement when it comes to travel plans. For some of you, this could be, a delay or a postponement as far as an opportunity. This could be a creative opportunity. This could be a business opportunity. It could be a project. Could be many different things. But ultimately, things are being delayed, maybe postponed. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that maybe our skills and abilities are just not as up to par as they need to be for this particular project, whatever it may be. Sometimes this can be a card where it could be indicating that there could potentially be competition that is definitely getting the upper hand on us, because maybe we're not putting forth enough effort. Wishful thinking won't get it done, okay? We have to actually put that effort in. And sometimes this can be about, wasting too much of our attention on, a couple details as opposed to the whole entire picture. So it's kind of like staring at a couple trees. Well, we need to be looking at the entire forest. And we don't want to get caught up in a few different details and then potentially see our plan delayed, or worse, having to scrap it and start over. I mean, for some of you, this is about a delay. For some of you, this is something that you may have to start over completely. You'll know where you fit in this scenario. Sometimes this can indicate that we just have too many irons in the fire, and maybe we're just too preoccupied with, the many things that go on in our daily life, that maybe we just don't have enough attention that we can actually put to focus on this. And that could be part of why it's failing as well. Maybe you've just spread yourself entirely too thin. Now, the clarification card was the World in reverse. So this indicates that there is some sort of karmic lesson that we're not learning, because there's a pattern that has been created. And it's like we're doing the same thing over and over, and we're expecting it to work out, to be successful for us, and it's not. It's a pattern that we need to eliminate, because it's not working for us and it's not giving us the desired result. So, be honest with yourself. If this has resonated with you up to this point, then, be honest with yourself and take a good hard look at, what's going on, and what is it that you're doing that you're repeating over and over. This could be how we're handling the situation. Maybe we don't ever focus solely on one thing, and maybe we're spreading ourselves too thin. This can be many different things. Every Libra sun, moon, and rising sign is different, so you'll know what it is for you. But ultimately, what this comes down to is we need to learn this karmic lesson, because it is a karmic lesson. It's a pattern that we're repeating, and we need to stop. We need to eliminate it because it is getting in our way. We are getting in our own way. For some of you, it could be we're falling into that trap of wishful thinking. You know, maybe some of us might be a little lazy, you know. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying all of you, but for those of you who this resonates with, you'll know who you are. You know, but wishful thinking is just not going to get it done. Like I've said before, we can have all the goals we want, but if we don't put action behind it, it's useless. We have to be ready to roll our sleeves up and get our hands dirty and work for it. If you really want it, then you're going to work for it. And that's what it comes down to. Because the moment that you identify what it is that you're doing, that you're repeating, and it's not working out for you, the moment that you identify it and you change it, then we can automatically bring this World card and this Three of Wands to the upright position, and we can get things moving forward. Okay? It's very simple. You just got to be ready to face yourself or whatever it is that you may be doing. Sometimes it can feel like it's circumstances, but there's something there that you're doing. And don't feel bad, because every single one of us do this at some point or another, sometimes multiple times in our life. So you're not being targeted. Okay? You can do it. Don't let the depression take a hold of you. Don't become hopeless, okay? Because you have the power to turn all of this around. It's in your hands. You can do it. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself.